Everybody, give it a minute as they stream in. Start to see folks in the chat. Boom. Everybody, welcome. Bienvenidos al world famous Aleph Hub. We're live from Argentina. How we all doing? We'll give it about one more minute as the folks continue to stream in. Hola, Lucios. ¿Qué tal? ¿Todo bien? Welcome. How's everybody doing? We'll be giving it about one more minute before we start. Just, I'll even give you a little bit of an inside view for everyone here. We're actually all in the same room. We're wearing headphones because we don't want to show up on each other's audio. But we are in the world famous Aleph Hub. Para los que saben, es el epicentro del mundo cripto de Buenos Aires. It's a very exciting place. It's a really cool co-working. It's a startup accelerator. It's a community. It is a space. It is a co-working. It's really fun. Every time I come here, I try to spend like a month here. Chacuza, bienvenido. We are here from the world famous Aleph Hub. You can even see behind Steffi, we have we are on air. So we're just gonna give it one more minute as a few more people come into the stream. And yeah, we'll get started in about 30 seconds with some introductions. Really excited to talk to everybody today. Okay, you know what? I'm just going to get started because this is being recorded anyways. For all those people who show up late, don't worry. This stuff is going to be on YouTube, Twitter, LinkedIn, all of your favorite plataformas. So everybody, welcome. Again, it's really a pleasure to be with you here. I am Daniel from MetaMask, Daniel Travieso. Very nice to be with you all today. I am here. I'll even pull up a little agenda to make this nice. We have a little agenda here. As I mentioned, Estamos in el Aleph Hub, the world famous Aleph Hub, really wonderful community here that always has the kindness to sponsor us when we're here with working from this beautiful community. I was here all of last March. I loved it. Perhaps just to get us started, just to give you another idea, we're going to introduce ourselves. I'm going to give you a little bit of a MetaMask Card update, all the latest and greatest. We're going to talk a little bit about Crecimiento and the presence here in DevConnect and some of the cool projects all of our hermanos de Argentina are working on. And then afterwards, Steffi's going to announce the MetaMask Content Hackathon winners from ETH Mexico that we did last summer. So with that, let me pull back for a moment. Let me stop sharing the screen. Let me stop doing the infinite mirror of screen sharing. And I'll just say, I'm Daniel. You know me. I work at Consensus, work on the MetaMask Card. I'm working on the Swift chain that we are helping to build for Swift's wholesale payment, security settlement, and other cool activities that they do on Swift. Also work a little bit in some of our DeFi, our attempts to bring DeFi to regular people. So really trying to find ways for regular people to interact with protocols like Aave and really get that value that perhaps they're not getting from the banking system. I have the extreme honor to be here with Steffi from Myosin and Simon from Crecimiento. I will let you all introduce yourself. Simon, would you like to start?
Of course. Thank you, Daniel. I mean, it's so cool to be here. We've been working together with MetaMask now for quite a few months, and it's beautiful to see these sort of partnerships coming down to Argentina. For you that you don't know Crecimiento is the movement bringing Argentina on chain, Argentina's economy on chain. We've been doing so for a year and a half already. We have this incredible hub called Aleph Hub in the center of Palermo, and we're gearing up for DevConnect, everything that DevConnect is coming on. We have the start of World Cup, we have Regulation Day, and a lot of events focused on builders and regulators. And to close this intro, I'm the head of BD at Crecimiento, and obviously you're gonna see me drinking the mate. And don't take me, I'm as serious as I can be, but with a mate next to me. I'm gonna give the word to Daniel back.
Steffi, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hey everyone, my name is Estefania, aka Steffi. I am part of the Myosin team, and I helped to curate and organize a hackathon that we did in Mexico, which was kind of the kickoff for the MetaMask Card to come into Latin America. It was an incredible event, so I'm really excited to be sharing about that a little bit later. But super excited to be here. Super excited to be here in Crecimiento. Thank you so much, Simon, for hosting us, and thank you so much for letting me try your mate earlier. I feel very welcomed here in Argentina, and I'm so excited for the week. I have yet to make it to the main venue, so there's a lot to come this week. We'll talk soon.
Great. So para comenzar, just to maybe do a little bit of level setting, if you have the MetaMask card, maybe in the chat, I don't know, give me a thumbs up if you've been using it. If you haven't, let me just remind you, it is live in the European Economic Activity Area. That's like, more or less the EU plus a few extra countries like Poland. So if you're French, ça va, bienvenue. We're glad you're using it. German. But of course, also live in Canada for all of our friends up north. Also live in Switzerland, the United Kingdom, but critically live in Argentina, Colombia, Mexico, y Brazil. E aí, tudo bem, tudo brasileiro. We love Brazilians too. We've been live in Argentina since earlier this year. And, it's really exciting for us because we launched what I think is the world's first self-custodial debit card that lets you spend from your own accounts. A lot of other cards before that were top-ups or prepaids. And we're starting to see other folks come into the market to create these type of cards now. But critically, what we want to do is still maintain that edge. So to me, payments are not exciting. Well, payments are very exciting because I'm a nerd. I'm weird. I love payments. But payments are not exciting to people. What's exciting to people is the entire banking experience. And I don't want to repeat what I've said in past kind of presentations, what we're trying to build. But if you step back for a moment, you think about what does a bank, a credit card, a debit card, a checking account give you? They give you saving, spending, lending, credit, rewards, some experiences sometimes too, if it's like a more premium Amex, JP Morgan, kind of Sapphire kind of thing. And we really want to be able to give you all of those things in a self-custodial manner. So on top of being able to spend from arbitrarily any account, your MetaMask accounts, but you can also use the MetaMask card with like a ledger. You could use it with an MPC solution like Fireblocks. You could use it from another wallet, even like a Phantom. We allow you to spend from any account, and we allow you to spend more assets than other folks. But that's not enough. We want to get into that banking, that ability for you to essentially bank yourself by finding ways where you can lend, take out cheaper loans, get cool rewards. So with that, I just want to give folks a little brief update in case you've been using the card, but perhaps don't know all the cool things you can do with it. I'm going to share my screen briefly. And if you don't mind, let me go through those. So first of all, let me tell you about some of the things that we've launched recently that you might not be so aware of. So I'm going to talk a little bit about our MetaMask experiences, show you a little bit about travel, talk about some of the new networks we've got, show you again our DeFi rewards, and a little bit, I think this will get into when I'm talking to Simone later, some of the partnerships we're working on. You can partner explicitly with us, but because we're a card that links to a self-custodial EOA, you can partner without our permission. You can go build stuff on your own that works with the card, and a cool company, MetaLend, did that. And I just want to show you that. Before I get started too, I know these are financial products. None of this is financial, legal, technical, or life advice. And that's the beautiful thing about MetaMask card, though, is that essentially we're not like repackaging financial instruments just for you to use, but allowing you to connect the card to all the wonderful experiences in DeFi for you to choose what's appropriate for you. So just to get started, MetaMask experiences. You may have seen some people on Twitter the past few days talking about our fun experiences. You may have seen it at ECC too, where we took people out to make their own perfumes. We had a film contest with Ave. Well, we're doing it at DevConnect again. We had a fun soccer competition with Simone and a number of other folks on Saturday that was super fun. It was a great experience. We choose, some influential people, some VIPs, but also just our favorite card users. If you're a card user, you may get an invite to one of these special experiences. We had a ball, but critically, the winners won these tokens. So if you're out in Buenos Aires this week, you will find the winners of our competition from Sunday walking around with these cool little tokens that can be redeemed for multiple things. So we got some cool MetaMask soccer jerseys that you can redeem. We've got folks who give out just straight up cash. We've got MUSD, our stable coin, that if you're one of our card holders, we can gift you up to 250 MUSD for you to go to spend. And we've got some more cool experiences. There is very nice asado happening Thursday. I think there's like a tour of the city. If you find one of the folks, search Twitter, go track them down, stalk them, find them on the floor, find them at an event, and ask them for one of those tokens, and they will be rewarding these wonderful MetaMask card holders all kinds of fun experiences this week. So those are our experiences at an event like DevConnect or UCC. But critically, we want to make sure that everyone who has one of our cards, and you'll note even maybe who don't have our cards, can partake in cool experiences. So this summer, we actually launched a really fun travel site called MetaMask Travel. It allows you to search hotels all over the world. These could be 3-star hotels, 4-star hotels, 5-star hotels, executive apartments, regular hotels, B&Bs. So whether you are one of these crypto oligarchs who got in on the seed round of Ethereum, congrats, or you're a more humble person like me who's just stacking away his USDC and Aave trying to make that 5% and get by, we will get you a good deal. I've been staying in Buenos Aires for the past week and a half in a number of hotels. I had to test out the tool a little, and you'll know that you get up to 40 to 60% off your bookings. It's really great. Just as a quick example, I'm going to Mexico en breve. Voy a visitar todo mi amigo de CDMX, and I was looking for February. I found a number of hotels that have up to 60% off. Novotels I used to stay at for work a lot. I find it's actually probably 45% off what I was paying when I was there. Now, critically, you can actually use the site even if you're not a MetaMask card holder yet. If you're from another country where we don't have availability in yet, you can pay on this site with any card. But if you use the MetaMask card, we add an extra up to 7% off at checkout. I just stayed in a wonderful hotel in a Recoleta for una semana for just $70 a night. I really loved it. And, you know, seeing is believing. If you don't believe me, check it out. Go to the other sites, compare the rates. I think we got some really competitive stuff going on here, and I'm really proud of it. So next time you got to go to ECC, DevConnect, what other conference we got there? Token, Consensus. They always say one of the only products that has true product market fit in crypto is travel. I don't believe that. It's, I think it's payments and lending and stuff, but conferences, we love them. And we're going to give you some good deals there. Also, forget it. You want to visit your grandma, your cousin. We got the holidays coming up. Feliz Navidad to the Americans, but also Feliz, just December. If you're from Latin America and you get the whole month off. We like to go a little more nuts down here. So that's our travel. Let me go into the next one really quick. Networks. So this is really important. No offense to the other cards out there, but a lot of them are using Visa to their credit, has done some good work in enabling settlement of certain coins on their network natively. But you start to notice that all the cards are the same. They are USDC, USDG, and URC on Stellar, Ethereum, Solana, and Avalanche. Great networks, that's cool, but they never have a different network. They never have a different asset. We have a much more unique architecture that allows us to spend arbitrarily any asset. So you've noted here, I got USDC and our stablecoin, MUSD, but amazingly, we've also got USDT. We've got wrapped ETH. We're the only ones that let you spend a crypto. We've got URIs, GBPs, and we're the only one with DeFi enabled. You can spend AVE AUSDC. Now, reminder, that's AVE AUSDC that is currently paying 3.95%. So you are earning until the last moment that you tap the card. So again, that gets back to the saving, spending, lending, credit, rewards. We're the only ones that don't just give you a chance to spend these tokens, but also to earn off of them, right? Now, here's the fun part. We also launched a number of networks in the past few weeks. In addition to Linea, our network that we launched the card on, we now have Solana and Base as well. So for all you Solana maxis out there, meme coiners, totally call me up, apply for the card. We're going to get you set up, right? And then Base we're really happy about because we are actually the world's first self-custodial card on Base. So if you like holding your own assets, if you like taking advantage of everything that's in DeFi, not having a custodial account, we are the only card with a self-custodial base spending. And here's the great part. You don't have to choose because we allow you to set a spending preference. So you can see here I have 15 USDC on Base. I have $3.53 of MUSD on Linea, as well as my AUSDC balance, of which I'm earning my percent on Linea. I can set a waterfall for any asset and any network, and I will simply spend those before passing to the next one. Really great. I can earn as much as I can my income on AUSDC while I'm out spending my MUSDs and Base USDCs. I encourage you all to try it out, try a few networks, see what you like about it, right? And, marketing's going to kill me. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. I always love to get a little alpha on these calls because I appreciate everyone who attends them. I'm not going to say what the next networks are, but I can just say that we got a few more networks coming soon because we really want to meet you where you are and be sure that if you got a balance somewhere, we're going to help you spend it. Beyond that, in travel and the networks we're enabling, I just want to go back to the core of DeFi I was talking about before. We allow you to spend AVE AUSDC, which is great. I'm making a decent amount. Also on the lending side, I don't know about you guys. I got credit cards. I'm paying like 27% APY. Look at that, 5.5%. I got a little loan out from AVE. I'm never getting this rate from my credit card. So I'm very happy to be able to take out this loan. I want to have a good time. I want to take all my friends in Argentina. I don't know if you've heard about the inflación happening here. I'll buy my friends a steak. I'm not doing that good right now. I need a little money. Boom. I take out a little bit of money from AVE. It's fantastic. But then also, I can also be earning this 4%, which is far more than I get from my savings account. And I don't know about every country you're in, but even in the center of finance in the US and New York City, my bank doesn't allow me to spend from my savings account. So I can spend from a $0 checking account, or I can have a savings account where they give me like 75% of a percent. Here I'm earning 4%. Well, critically, for our wonderful MetaMask card holders, You'll note under linear rewards, we actually have an additional program for Aave where we give a 2.4% boost when you lend USDC and a 2.4% discount when you borrow up to $5,000. So if you take a look at my Aave balance, I'm not actually paying 5.5. I am in fact paying quick maths 3.10%. And then instead of earning 3.95, I'm actually earning it's hard math, 5.95, 6.15, 6.15%, right? And I can claim it directly in this interface within MetaMask Card interface where linear rewards will take me to a brief description of the program and then my ability to claim. So let's see, I already claimed this morning, so maybe there's not that much. I've probably got like $1 here that I made in the past few hours. Boom, $1.41. I'm going to claim that and I'm going to pay back a little bit of that loan. Now I've gone out, I've bought my friends the steak, we've had some mates, we've had some Malbecs. You know what? It's time to pay back some of that loan. There we go. At any rate, beyond that, lastly, I just want to note one thing is we're going to talk a little bit about how much I love collaborating with the Crecimiento family, all the wonderful people building here. We talk about the last season, the upcoming season. But for all you builders out there, I think a really interesting case study is I know a few folks from Queens. I'm from Queens. We love Queens. It's the future. They're called MetaLend, and they build a pretty cool tool, which is basically a rebalancer that there's a lot of products like this that will take your balance and move it to the highest earning pools each week. But they created a version without our permission initially, without collaborating with us, although we are now collaborating deeper and deeper because it's so cool, where when you deposit into their tool, you get to set a certain amount that you want to stay in Aave AUSDC. So imagine this, right? I put in, say, $8,000 here. I can set an amount that will always remain spendable on the card. Here, I could do 2,000. I think I have 90 right now. Now, with Aave AUSDC, it changes each week, but I'm earning Aave AUSDC on Linea particularly. I am earning, I think, about 4% right now, plus my Aave rewards, as I mentioned before, my 2.4%. And I'll continue to earn that and be able to spend it with the MetaMask card. The remainder of my balance, I can then whitelist to move across a number of Aave, Morpho, and Euler pools across every network. So we got Aave, Morpho, Euler. Across the chains, I'm using Base, I'm using Arbitrum, Polygon, AVAX, Optimism, Linea. And of course, we've got all those instantiations like the Mev Capital pool or the Gauntlet USDC Core pool on ARB. And really fun stuff. I get the highest yearning yield on the balance that is not spendable while maintaining my balance that is spendable. Once a week, it rebalances. So if I've spent down my spendable balance, it'll top that up. And the rest of the balance will move to the highest yearning pool. In addition to the yield that I'm getting on the USDC, I actually get all these other cool rewards. I get all those fun little rewards you get on the side. I get my Morphos. I get my SaveX. I get my ARB. So really fun tool. This week, right now at this moment, without the rebalance, is 761. But just maybe a little example for you. Last week, at one point, I was making 19.47% off of the Euler R7 Labs cluster AVAX. Listen, I love Avalanche, I love Euler, but I love DeFi. I'm on DeFi all the time. I do not have that much time in the day. I'm doing this card stuff. I'm asking Simone what's the coolest projects going on at Crecimiento. I'm talking to Steffi about the hackathon. I'm off talking to the folks at Swift, at MasterCard. I cannot be going through and finding. I would have never found this poll, but I luckily on about 3/4 to 4/5 of my deposit had the chance to earn that reward. And then it rebounds the next week, and now I'm out spending it on the beautiful streets of Argentina. Now, I don't want to use all this time to just sell people. That wouldn't be fair. I want to talk about some of the really cool stuff that's going on here. But again, we're just shipping so much cool stuff. I always want to make sure that we're at least making you aware of all the cool things you get with the MetaMask card. But with that, maybe just pull back a moment. ¿Qué está pasando acá en Argentina? The best Dev Connect I've ever been at. I don't know, it's like 80,000 people or something. I'm hearing it's the record. I really want to kick it to my friend Simone to first maybe tell you all, for those of you who don't know, about how magical Crecimiento is, how wonderful the LF is. For those of you who are not Borges fans, I'm a huge fan. It's a great story. It's about a guy who goes insane because he finds a keyhole in his house. He looks through it and he can see the universe. It's one of the best short stories ever. Sorry to do a diversion there, but Simone, why don't you tell us a little bit about the LF, Crecimiento, the cool things you're seeing built here, the past season, the next season. Give us a little download.
Thank you, Daniel. Gracias. I mean, Crecimiento has been a wonderful, it's had an incredible year. Bear in mind that we started this incredible initiative about 18 months ago. because we understood that Argentina is in a very special position when it comes to crypto adoption and what it can be done. Imagine you have a country where like there's many OGs coming from it, from incredible companies all around the ecosystem, but then you also have a lot of problems to solve, and you see almost 25% crypto adoption across the whole country, with 7% using 7% of the population using crypto daily. Not because there's well, obviously there's many solutions, but mainly because it's needed, which is something that you don't find in every single country in the world, right? Crypto became a solution to problems such as lack of a stable currency or access to financial tooling, even basic financial tooling, access to investment, access to well, any and like many other problems. And we saw that crypto really came in and took over in that direction. And that was a little bit of the reason why Crecimiento was born. Is Argentina was in a very weak position 2 years ago. Now things are starting to look better, and we had the opportunity to put the country in the shoulders of tech startups by connecting the dots, basically, by putting the OGs, by putting the biggest protocols in the ecosystem, and putting the hackers and builders all in the same place, which is a lab hub. And we started doing pop-up cities. And the first one brought 2,500 people, August 2024. Then we did another one in December. We did another one in March. And we started building towards this possibility of that connect coming to Argentina. But then it actually happened. It got confirmed the same day that we were kicking off our third pop-up city. We see the tweet saying, "Hey, Dev Connect is going to Argentina," and you can imagine the vibe here 6, 7, 8 months ago. Everybody was going mad, and it was beautiful. And that led to some incredible programs that we've been going through that we're concluding at the end of this, actually during this week, that we want to see three things in Argentina happening. One is we want to onboard 10 million more people to on-chain solutions. How are we going to do it? Basically, it's through startups. We need more startups and more builders building solutions to real problems. That is going to lead to adoption, and it's already happening. And that was actually the second objective. No, it's a 10x the amount of startups focusing on Web3 in the ecosystem, and we're on the process. There's more than 1,000, 1,200 startups that have joined the ecosystem of Crecimiento since we began, and we have a startups club of those like the most select ones that we are constantly supporting and giving help to, for them to succeed, to reach their goals. They're raising capital and everything. And then we want to advocate for a more welcoming and stable regulatory infrastructure in Argentina. For those startups to actually stay here in the country, there needs to be incentives for them to stay. And that is going to allow them to potentially transform the country towards a more like Web3 and AI friendly, and actually hopefully build the first crypto nation of the world, which is the vision that there is there. So to do that, even we work together with many, many protocols, and that's actually what was the coolest part of having MetaMask in the house. They've been super, super supportive from the beginning. And we started working together as a local partners and organizing these cool events. Then at the same time, we've been accelerating over 210 startups in the whole year with many different protocols and seeing them on board different technologies and welcoming and bridging with them. And then also pop-up cities. We've welcomed 20,000 people in the hub over the whole year. So yeah, it's been a mad year, and definitely something to be super proud of. So thank you for also giving us the space to share it here.
Yeah, and I think we're all co-hosts tonight. If you're going to sign up, come to Builders Night. We're going to be in the world famous Builders Night. We always do. But then also, I think, will you announce some winners of any competitions this week? I think you have something going on out here in the hallway.
Absolutely. So we had the biggest builder funnel ever in LATAM, that we went from almost 1,500 builders from all LATAM down to the 12 best startups of the region, pitching in front of Stani will be there, Devin from the Useful Foundation, Tomasz, and some other incredible personalities. They're going to be pitching in front of them at Dev Connect on Wednesday. So that's going to be a top event, especially for those either looking for angel investing or just to get inspiration. That's going to be huge. And then on Thursday, we have the regulation day happening on the main venue in DevConnect 2, which is, it relates to that third objective that I mentioned before, no? Slowly having those uncomfortable conversations that are slowly educating the regulators around why this industry can really be transformative for the world that we have. And man, it's so exciting to be contributing to the ecosystem in those two directions, no? Doing ecosystem building, I'm getting the best builders and best startups together with working and talking to the regulators to potentially get a better infrastructure, regulatory infrastructure in the country.
Cool. So yeah, definitely come out to those, particularly Thursday at Regulation Day at 4 p.m. Eastern, or sorry, 4 p.m. Buenos Aires time. Come to this payments panel. I heard there's some pretty smart people there. I'm joking. It's me. It's me. And it's also, if you know Jamal from Polygon, I love him. He's so great. It's Facundo from Agora, who used to also be at Tether. Some really smart people, people I respect a lot and like a lot. Some folks from Reap. Already had a panel yesterday with some great folks from Reap and OfferAmp here at the LF2 as well, which is amazing. Always love it here. Maybe just before we go on to our Mexico winners, could you tell us about, there's an upcoming season, maybe, let's see, like if you're like MetaMask or if you're like Polygon or Mega ETH or Coinbase, like one of these properties, how can they reach out to you to sponsor? And then if you are an Argentine or a Chilean or an Uruguayan or a, you know, wherever you're from, how could you maybe sign up to be one of these participant groups to become one of these startups here?
Absolutely. Well, first of all, if you are a Web3 builder, regardless of where you come from, you're welcome here. That's the most important part. Here is a place for
They
you
even let
to
me in. They even let me in all month in March. They let me work here. They let me co-work. It rocks.
literally, it's the three of us here, and we expect, like, I would love to see this place filled with people every single day, because that's when you get those synergies, and that's when you get that magic word that BD loves, you know, like creating synergies between people. And and yes, we want to see more of those. We really want to see more of those people welcoming, and everybody's gonna find it. But then the question is, why would you come? No. First of all, there's going to be conferences happening all the time. There's going to be workshops of technical content as well happening. But moving on to 2026, what we're going to be doing mainly is two big builder cycles happening from after September all the way to Berlin season. And then in the second half of the year, dates will be confirmed. What do we want to see here? We will be doing immense hackathons to bring obviously a lot of grants, a lot of prizes for those builders, but to get more edgy stuff built in Argentina, build more solutions. We want to see those tech solutions built and grant them obviously and shortlist the best projects from existing startups and those coming from hackathons that are actually very curious of the ones that you got from Mexico. I'm really curious on those. We're gonna get them to be accelerated for 2 months straight to get all the resources that they need from mentors, from incredible masterclasses, from founders, from a space to work from, anything that is needed for them to go from 1 to N level of experience and hopefully get more investment at the end of the day. So who are we looking for now? We are actually in this process of connecting with the protocols that they want to see real solutions built using their technologies that are willing to be solving real world problems. So if you are part of either a marketing team of a strategy or a builder related or dev roles, what we're here for is to grab that technology and make it super, super useful. Luckily, we belong to an industry that has been working on a technology for 10 years, 15 years even. And now we are at the stage that we're mature enough to build the solutions that leave the technology a little bit behind and focuses on the use cases that are going to be solving and enhancing people's lives now. So it's at a very, very excited point that we are in, and we are an active part of it. So we want to see more of those solutions. And if you want to reach out, obviously you can, either in Twitter is the best, is ideal, is my name as you see it with an underscore below. And happy to help and get in contact.
Hey, speaking of like functional stuff and, you know, making it for normal people, Normans, for regular people. I love regular people. Listen, are you a DGen in the chat? I love you. Are you a trader? Are you doing perps? Did you get into the 2017 bull market? Were you like buying ICOs? I love you. You're great. I love the people that have been since the NFT thing. You're all wonderful. I love people who are doing like triple leverage, borrow on Aave, put it in compound. You're all wonderful. But más que nada, yo amo los abuelos. Tu primo que no sabe nada de crypto. Those are my favorite. I got a friend here. He's here. He's a technology guy. He works in Buenos Aires. He's great. Does not know what crypto is. He's always asking me to explain to him. Yet every week he takes his salary here and he buys USDT with it on an exchange, and then every few days he takes out a little bit just because of to hedge against inflation. But he doesn't really know anything else about crypto. He just calls. He's like, yeah, I got my tethers. Yo tengo mi tethers, che. Yeah. So what we have to do is make solutions for people like these, people who have no interest in learning more about this, people who need this. People have lives. All right. People like watching novelas. People like reading books. People like going out with their cousins. People like going on picnics. These people should be able to access DeFi. These people should be able to pay with stables, right? And it's really, I think, really important this year that we do it. And I think Simone is going to doing a lot of great work and getting all these folks together that can build. Like I say, if you got a MetaLend-like thing and you want to integrate to the card, call me up. I'm down to help you out too. I'm trying to build this stuff. But then, we got to transmit the message. So at ETH Mexico last year, I think it's Steffi, we had a fun challenge for how do we translate, using stables, using DeFi, using the card to just regular people. And we had a challenge for folks to try to explain that. And Steffi, you want to talk a little bit about the winners of our ETH Mexico challenge? A huevo, boom.
I love the little sayings of our different countries, because Argentinos have a way of saying things, Mexicanos have another way. So it's been really fun to have Dev Connect in Latino America, because it kind of really brings all the different Latinos into the mix. So as Daniel was saying, we have Brazilians, Argentinians, Mexicans, Colombians, etc. So really, really cool to be able to be a part of this movement happening in Latam. And just to kind of give you an overview of what I'm here to talk about, it's essentially just in August, which does feel like a year ago, as Daniel's been saying, which is only 2 months ago, I guess, 3 months ago at this point. We hosted a hackathon, and we co-hosted it with Ethereum Mexico, Myosin, and MetaMask. And the whole goal around it was to bring MetaMask Card to Latin America. So we organized a hybrid hackathon that happened virtually, but we also had individuals come participate for an IRL gathering. We had a builders day where we invited local builders who were coming into town for the stablecoin conference that was happening that week. So we collaborated with local builders who are building around the stablecoin ecosystem, on ramps, off ramps, layer ones, etc. And it was really cool to be able to kind of be in that correct context, especially as the MetaMask card is paving its way in. So really excited to kind of show you guys a little bit of what that entailed. Some fun KPIs, some points, some data that we gathered from that day. So we had 5 days of programming, which was done virtually. We had some workshops. Ale and I came on the live stream. We talked about stable coins and their impact in Latin America. He had really great insights living in New York, but being a Venezolano who is now moving to, I believe, Guatemala. So really cool to also be kind of that dynamic, to be able to really recognize and see what it is that people need wherever they are in the world. We had over 40 attendees in the in-person Builders Day. It was a very curated group of people coming together to talk about stables, but also just get to know one another. And we had about over 50 participants across Latin America come and join, because we did have some people outside of Mexico also participate. It's kind of the beauty of doing things hybrid. And we had over 34 submissions, including videos, memes, and strategies that came about all of this. Another really great thing about hackathons is they provide incredible feedback. So anyone who has a bounty up or is testing your product, they're going to give you immediate feedback. So I think, especially as MetaMask Card starts to roll out new features, it's really great for you to go test them and let the team know what's working, what's not working, what do you want to see more of, and things of that sort. So I'm going to share my screen and give you guys a little bit of an overview of what we did here. Alrighty. So El Hack de Contenido. This was the hybrid event that we hosted with MetaMask and Ethereum Mexico. Shout out to the crew. We just wrapped Ethereum Mexico 2025, literally not that long ago. It was the first week of November. So that was an incredible experience. People were still raving and talking about the hackathon. So it's been a really, really cool thing to be able to be a part of. So this was in August, and we actually launched it off as well with an insight report. So Myosin wrote an inside report giving MetaMask a shout out, outlining kind of like what the needs are specifically for Mexico. And so the really cool thing about that is we kind of like had this great overview of what's happening in Mexico. As some of you know, there's a lot of remittances that go through Mexico. There's a lot of use cases in Mexico for why we should be thinking about crypto. We should be thinking about adoption, bringing it into the back end of how our financial system works. So it was really cool to be able to be a part of that, co-write that with Blake and the Myosin team. So shout out there to all of our great partners and a little bit of how this hackathon worked. So basically, we just set out to do this event where we invited anyone and everyone who is a content creator or just wants to get a little creative and create content. So we had basically 3 main rules: crea contenido, hazlo viral y gana premios. Entonces, la idea era que tú pudieras subir un video, un meme, lo que sea, and you would win prizes. And the whole point was for you to talk about how to use your stable coins. So we went off to the races and to create. So I'm going to share with you guys one of our first winners, which was Tori. So Tori is this wonderful creative human, which also I have to give you some context here. So this lovely woman created a song. She created these like reenactments, which felt like telenovelas to me. And it was essentially all talking about how to make the best use of her MetaMask card. And I originally listened to the song and thought it was written with AI, but she wrote this all on her own and was able to essentially launch this. So I'm going to give you guys a little preview. It's about 2 minutes, so I'm only going to play a minute, but I recommend that you go and look for this song. Follow her on X. She goes by Tori Dom K, and you can find it yourself.
Saben, amigos, acabo de conocer una tarjeta y ya es mi favorita. Saben, no tiene ni un defecto ni un. Es muy bonita y ya la uso mucho. Amo autocustodia, MetaMask tarjeta. Amo sin errores, MetaMask tarjeta. Con USDC estable con MetaMask tarjeta. Mi primer cash. Anoma Custode estable con MetaMask tarjeta. Mi primer cash. Es callada, tímida, tiene la mirada. Pago sin mi mano, siento algo extraño. Autorizo cada compra firmando en mi mano. Nunca había vivido algo así en mi vida. Algo así en mi vida.
I agree. I do think it's so good. All right, so that was one of our first winners, and Tori. So shout out to Tori. And then we actually had people also post on TikTok, and this was a winner we also had, which is Melanie.
Me han preguntado
Melanie
mucho
created some
que si puedo pagar
content.
con cripto en comercios tradicionales. Hoy voy a usar MetaMask para comprar un café. Este es el menú que tienen. Se ve súper delicioso. Pero a mí se me antoja una galletita de Nutella y voy a pedir un latte matcha. ¿Te puedo pedir un matcha latte chico y una galleta de Nutella, por favor? Te voy a pagar con una tarjeta de cripto. Sí, gracias. ¿Cuál sería? Ok, serían 135, por favor. Okay. Listo. Gracias. Lo logramos, pudimos comprar un matcha latte y una galletita en una cafetería local con cripto. Ahora vamos a comprar artesanías para llevarnos a Japón. Acompáñame a pagar con MetaMask. Miren, todo está súper bonito. Todas las calaveritas. Y aceptan cualquier método de pago, así que vamos a pagar con cripto. Sí, ya. ¿Sí? Como recuerditos para Japón, vámonos. Ya demostramos que sí se puede comprar con monedas estables en cripto y con MetaMask.
Y qué increíble, amo eso también porque había muchos temas culturales, entonces super cool to see that there's all these creators that put in a lot of effort to create so much cool content. And I guess without further ado, I'll hand it back to Daniel.
Yeah, thanks for that. I think it's so cool that you did it, but you also had this like no jargon role that you had to be able to show people how to do these things without getting into all the weird words that can kind of like throw off some of our folks that we got to bring in this one. You got to meet people where they're at. It was really a pleasure to do that with you. I love that song. I listened to it. I'm ready to dance the night away. Maybe you can do a collab. I'm a big fan of some. They're technically from California. They're not Mexican, but it sounds Mexican. I don't know if you know Herencia de Patrones. That's like my favorite band. I would love to hear a collab with our friend Tori. But maybe just to shout you guys out a little, because the work you do is so cool. Myosin's like a marketing agency, but it's a DAO. It's decentralized. Like, can people get involved? How could any enterprising minds here in the chat who are thinking about becoming marketers in a more decentralized, independent way get involved?
Yeah, it's actually a very, very cool model. Thanks for that shout out, Daniel. So shout out to Myosin, shout out to our co-founders, Simon and Blake, who've created this beautiful company culture or organization culture. I don't really want to call it a company because we are technically a DAO. And it's been a really, really awesome. We have guilds within the organization. So people focusing on PR, people focusing on content, socials, growth, etc. So really awesome to be able to curate a membership based out of the best talent. So there is a vetting process. If you're interested in signing up, we do have a way for you to do that. It's myosin.xyz/membership. And essentially what we're looking for is anyone in the marketing world looking to work and contribute to projects in crypto. So we predominantly focus on working with foundations, protocols, and helping them with all things marketing. So that also includes like events, socials, etc. We have teams in Korea, in Japan, in the US, and we've actually just started to grow the Latin American network as well. So if that's something that you're interested in, my DMs are open. I love being able to meet a lot of Latinos because there is a lot of needs here. We actually also have someone based out of Africa. So he's been curating a little network out there as well. And the whole concept is to really understand regional marketing as well. We tend to really market as a global company with most of the organizations out there. But I think it's also really important to notice and know that there's nuances that differentiate how you market to different regions, and not just regions, but countries. And that's something that we were talking about before is something like there's major differences between a Mexico and Argentina and a Brazil. Our needs are different. The way we talk to each other is different. So it's really, really cool to be able to diversify our marketers as well. So that way, when we're out there in the arena, we're able to do a great job to really get that message across to anyone who is watching, listening, observing what we're up to. So yeah, Myosin XYZ, it's spelled MYOSIN. .xyz is our website, and we would love to work with you and get to know you. We're hosting a few events this week too, so if you haven't already, go to my Twitter and I'm posting about all of that. So we'll see you there.
Cool, yeah, and I think it's cool you talk about like the localization and the regionalization, like pa todo lo gringo escuchando. Oh, sorry, because you wouldn't understand. For all the Americans listening, Americans can be so boring when they talk about Latin America here. They always like, oh yeah, they like crypto because there's so much inflation. Americans can only ever sometimes fit like one Latin American country in their head at once. And right now, cheers, shout out Crecimiento, it's Argentina. Maybe 2 years ago it was Brazil. But like when Argentina comes in, Brazil leaves. When Brazil comes in, then Colombia leaves. But there's actually like 30 countries here and they're all very different, right? So like inflation is real. Like in Argentina and Venezuela, it is a reason that like crypto's been adopted. But there's many, many more reasons. Like people are like, oh, they want US dollar access. I'm like, brother, what's the currency in Ecuador, El Salvador, and Panama? Hint, it's the dollar. They don't have their own currency. So they don't need dollar access. They already have dollars, right? But sometimes it's inflation. Sometimes it's like, you know, maybe in Ecuador as well uses the dollar. Even if they're using the dollar, a high percentage of the GDP can be remittances. Like a lot of remittances are coming into the country. And a remittance with a standards remittance provider costs like 7%. A remittance on Linea costs 3/4 of a penny, right? So you got remittances. You've got inflation in some cases. You've got a very young, highly digital population that is curious. Like I live in New York. It's like the capital of finance. I could probably get a good bank account. But you saw, I was just getting like 18% with the Avalanche MetaLend thing the other week. No bank's giving that to me. And they're not letting me spend it with my card. And when you have a population of like 400 million people that are younger, more on their phones, more able with dealing with a lot of digital stuff, they're going to get curious and they're going to find the best thing. Which gets to the other thing, which is that the most rent-seeking banks in the world are from Latin America. There's a McKinsey report. You can read it every year. There's little rent-seeking, for those of you who don't know. It's like when you charge for something that has no value just because you have someone locked in. The highest degree of rent-seeking, like the bar, is like 10x bigger for LATAM than it is for Asia, US, Europe. So if your bank's not really hooking you up and you can find a better service online, and maybe you do have inflation, and maybe you do want access to the dollar, and maybe your economy does have a lot of remittances, it doesn't have to be all six. But in every country of Latin America, there is like 2 or 3 of those. And the question is like how you position it. And working with someone like Myosin has been fantastic. I do want to close with some recomendaciones, okay? Let me make some macros, micros. Macro is get in touch with these folks. This is great. I'm pointing because we're in the room together. Simón is el mero mero de Crecimiento. Well, there's a lot of great people in Crecimiento. I don't want to say the mero. He's el mero mero de Argentina. Everyone in Crecimiento is great. Everyone here is Manon, love them all. Get in touch. Whether you want to work here for a day, whether you want to sponsor the next like season, whether you want to be one of the participant startups, it's really magical what happens here. You just feel the energy. I come in, there's people everywhere. Obviously, too, if you want to get involved in some of this marketing stuff, whether you're PR, whether you're writing copy, whether you're doing content, Myosin is fantastic. I love working with them. Now, let me sell you a little card.metamask.io. Everyone in the chat, right at once, card.metamask.io. Listen, sign up today. It's free. Try it out, okay? No matter where you are in the world, try out card.metamask.io, okay? Whether you have the card or not, try out travel.metamask.io. It's a wonderful little thing. Get out there and book a trip. And then if you are here in Argentina esta semana, be on the lookout for two things. Number one, those ambassadors with those chips. They're giving them out. We got some cool MetaMask soccer jerseys. We got some fun dinners. We got some tours. We got some fun concerts that you can redeem for the chips. Also, we got MUSD, our stable coin. Sometimes they're just giving the cash out. Now, that could be 100, 250, but we also got a 15-person street team. Let me pull up a little picture here real quick before I drop off. We got them here every day to the left, so it's easy. Look, you go to a lot of events. You go to an event by Gnosis. You go to an event by Diligence. You go to an event with whoever. We probably have a street team there. They're at the conference, but they're every day at the left. There's 15 of them, and if you sign up for the MetaMask card, they will onboard you. They will give you $20 worth of MUSD. They will teach you how to use a social account with it. They'll teach you how to use a hot wallet. They'll teach you how to use a hardware wallet. They'll give you your Base, your Linea, your Solana balances connected. They'll show you how to connect Aave. They will give you a white glove. The guante blanca. They're gonna give you a full, beautiful onboarding, and they're giving out free money for you to try it out. So if you catch any of those folks anywhere here, ask them about anything about the MetaMask card. And then, of course, come to our Builders Night. Come see the finals here in the Crecimiento Startup Competition. And, of course, thank you all for listening today. It's always a pleasure to be with you all. Thank you, Simón. Gracias, Steffi. Vamos a seguir building. Vamos a seguir gastando con la tarjeta MetaMask. Y vamos a disfrutar a lo máximo de este DevConnect, el mayor de toda la historia acá en Buenos Aires, Argentina. Tomen sus mates y actívense, ¿ok? Boom. Thank you all so much.